to start with, so I'm Lucy McLaren. I'm a dark fantasy author. My series, The Commune's Curse, is kind of what I'm mainly focusing on now. Is the first book, Awakening, is out in the world now, and the second book, The Madman's Hope, is going to come out in 2 weeks tomorrow. So that's exciting. Lydia, I'll hand over to you.
So my name's Lydia Baker and I write sci-fi and fantasy. I also dabble a little bit in crime, or I'm starting to. So I've got a couple of books out. I've got Ava out, which is a sci-fi, and Return of the Queen, which is a fantasy. So yeah, I'm working on a couple of things, got a few things out there, but yeah, just working on bits and pieces.
Yeah. I know how many you're working on. You're like super author. It's impressive. But yeah, as mentioned, so we're kind of introducing the project that we want to start called Introverted Indies, which is going to be a YouTube channel. I'll let you kind of jump in there, Lydia.
Yeah, so we just want to get loads of indie authors and support you in promoting your work, talking about your books, talking about anything that you want to chat about on our channel. But yeah, we know that it's really hard out there trying to get your book out, trying to get people to see it. So the plan is we want to get people in, talk to you about your book, get other people interested, and just promote.
Yeah,
give you a platform to do that. So
yeah, we both know how hard that is. It's tough.
It is.
So we plan to do an interview every month. I mean, depending on how many sign up and kind of what we can fit in around our lives. You know, we're both parents, both got jobs, and both write. So bear with us, because I know a few people already have kind of expressed a bit of interest.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be able to get around to everyone and fit everyone in. So after this live, keep your eyes open, because I'll share the video for this and we'll put the Google form in there. We'll make sure we share it across both our socials so you can see it. But it'll basically be a case of signing up if you're interested in being interviewed for our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so yeah, I've got the form all sorted, but we also both have newsletters. So if anybody wants to not do a live, not do a face-to-face video sort of thing, they'd rather do a written interview, then we both have options for that as well, don't we, on our respective newsletters that we will also put in the comments, in the, when we share the videos.
Yeah, so yeah, the option of either a video interview that will go on the YouTube channel or a written one that will go on our newsletters. So yeah, hopefully something for everyone there. And I think, like I said, we'll share that at the end of this, so keep your eyes open for that. Now we're going to kind of move into a little bit of a chat about ourselves and our work. So Lydia obviously mentioned earlier, sci-fi and fantasy author. I've had the pleasure of reading Ava, which is a great sci-fi dystopian book, which I highly recommend. And also some of your books that are currently out on, one of them's out on submission, and your crime thriller that you're still writing. And yeah, you're a great author, and what always sticks out to me in your books is the character writing, and how good how much the characters stand out. So with Ava in particular, and actually it seems like you quite enjoy dystopian stories, would be fair to say. What inspires you with that?
I think it's just an idea about sort of what if, what would happen if the world was different, what would happen if society was different. And I think there's a lot of scope in that subject to write a lot of different novels. And we like the Hunger Games, well, so not real, but Hunger Games and things like that, and Handmaid's Tale, that sort of thing. They all kind of feed into that genre, and I've always enjoyed those books. So the ideas just seem to come in that respect. So but what about you? I mean, I've read The Awakening, The Commune's Curse. I've also read A Madman's Hope, which, as you said, is out on the 14th, which I'm so excited about. Can't wait to actually see all the changes you've made and read about Hector and everyone. So what inspires you most with your fantasies?
It's a good question. I mean, I was thinking about this recently, about the fact that I seem to always have some kind of weird, messed up authoritarian government body, and there's a lot of corruption and stuff. But then I kind of look at the real world and I think, yeah, okay, so obviously I'm taking stuff from what's going on in current politics and recent history. I do like to take contemporary issues and explore those in fantasy stories. So The Commune's Curse is an authoritarian, essentially a government style organization that are hunting down children with powers. And yeah, it's interesting. I'm really excited for book 2 to be out, because I think that's just taking out so much of my brain power this year. It'll be good to have it out in the world and just done, and then I can focus on other stuff that I've been working on, give myself a little bit of a break from that series, which you fully appreciate. So what are you working on at the moment?
So, like you said, I've got one on so another dystopian novel on submission, but actually I think I'm going to take that back and have another look at it. I've had some feedback about the beginning of that, so I'm going to work on that. But I'm also have a fantasy novel that we did the technique where you just get it written, do it, don't look at it, don't try and worry too much about editing, get it done, and I churned it out in about 5 months. But I know I need to go back at it and look at it. It's just going to be a pile of rubbish, to be fair. But yeah, and I'm working on my crime novel at the moment, which I'm actually taking a pen name for that, because to separate it from the sci-fi and fantasy, which actually my writing for that's quite different, I think, to the crime stuff. So I wanted to sort of make a difference there. But yeah, but no, I'm really looking forward to knowing about book 3 of your series, The Communes. So can you tell us a bit more without giving away too much? Or of your projects? Because I know there are a few more projects in the pipeline as well.
There are, yeah, like as much as my brain can handle. I've just seen Karen has said, where can she get my book? So Karen, if you look on my the link in my bio, there's purchase links for the Communes Curse series, like the books that are available at the moment. So just go to my Instagram page and there's a link on the bio at the top. But yeah, so book 3, I've got a plan for it, but whether I'll stick to that fully is another matter. But because I'm a bit of I don't usually plan stuff, but that's something that I did do when book 1 got signed with the publisher. Yeah, it's going to be interesting trying to wrap everything up. I'm trying to, there's like a massive spoiler that is like I'm very conscious of, that is probably going to upset some people, but I'm still going to go through with it.
You know what? It's good writing if you upset people, I think.
Yeah.
You know, not everyone's a happy ending. That's life.
Yeah. So book 3 is just kind of going to be like the, what's the word? Like, you know, the boss battle. I'm talking in video game terms here, but like, you know, finally seeing the Grand Magister in person, the characters all coming together again, because they got separated over the course of book 2. They're no longer together. Well, the 2 groups that you see together. So book 3 is going to be like what is the word that is not coming to my brain?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but anyway, it's all going to come to an end. I don't know what the word is. Brain's gone. But yeah, so that's going to be exciting. I am looking forward to writing it and like having that series completed and out in the world. But it's going to be, I'm having a little break for the rest of the year whilst I work on these other projects. So I'm currently working on a Phantom of the Opera inspired like gothic fantasy, which I'm using the method that you use for your fantasy book, like just write, don't edit. And it is a pile of steaming poo, and I'm fully aware of that as I'm writing it. I'm just like, this doesn't make sense, because I'm going against what I said earlier, and so I've got loads of notes in my phone where I'm trying to keep track of all the changes that I need to make. But what I will say for that method is you get stuff written. Like I'm almost at 20,000 words, which is the most I've written on a new book in quite time. So it works. I can highly recommend that technique if you're getting stuck on your writing. Just literally just write.
Yeah, and leave gaps. I remember just putting in notes saying, just fill in this bit here for myself, and you come back to it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, there's like add more details here, like whatever, just like, you know, clean this up, because, you know, it's better to have something to work on than a blank page. Ultimately, you can always edit, you can always tighten it up. But yeah, so obviously we both spend a lot of free time writing. I think being parents as well, when you are a writer, you tend to be like, okay, that's my free time thing, right? Like I think it's fair to say it takes up quite a lot of both of our free time. But what do you do outside of that? So you haven't got the kids, you're not writing. What do you like to do?
So I have to say I'm a bit of a geek. I quite like to play PlayStation, which it doesn't take too much brain power. You can just switch off. But I also like to crochet as well. So that was my sort of, my go-to chill out time, put on like a crime documentary or, you know, some trashy TV and just crochet, and that was my good unwinding type thing. So because, you know, you're still busy with it. So I think sometimes when you're busy with your hands doing something, mind can be free. And often I would find then by being busy with my hands, then I could think about other things, think about book stuff, and stuff will come to me because you're kind of occupied, not just staring, like you said, staring at that blank page and thinking, I don't know where I'm going, but I know where I want to be.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
yeah, but how about you? I know that you're a bit of a gamer as well.
I am, yeah, wearing my Zelda jumper. So yeah, I mean, I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 for like the past few months because it's just so huge. And I was playing Tears of the Kingdom before that, and that's like on hold. I finished that, but Baldur's Gate just beckoned. But yeah, so that's probably the main thing that I'll do if I'm not writing is video games or TV. I also like crime documentaries. At the moment, I'm rewatching Dexter, which is obviously not true, but it's a crime show. Is that what made you want to write a crime book? Is it because you like crime documentary?
I think I watched one crime documentary that was about girls who had, you know, been killed, but a lot of the attitude back in maybe the 60s, 50s was that, oh, they just ran away. And actually, a lot of them hadn't run away. Bad things had happened, and it wasn't looked into because they were women who maybe weren't from the right side of society, let's put it that way, or because of their skin color, or because they weren't married. You know, all those things that aren't reasons to not look for someone. So I think that kind of inspired me, the injustice of that inspired me to write something. And actually, a lot of the police officers that were then looking into it later on were so wonderful, and you know, you could see the emotion in them that actually this wrong had been done and they needed to write it. So yeah, I think that was what's inspired me to write this one. I think I'd like to make it into a series of books, but whether I can find the time is the
well, I'm very excited for it anyway. I've read a bit of that, and it's very
on the thing. Oh, I think that's for you.
Oh yeah.
So
I make references to mental health in writing. How do I find translating that into a fantasy novel? I think it because I'm a counsellor I was going to say real life then, like as my day job, so to speak. I'm a counsellor, so exploring mental health seems to come quite naturally in terms of the characters. And to be honest, I feel like as much as there's magic and talking animals and stuff in the series, I feel like the people are still kind of the aim anyway, is for them to feel quite real and, you know, realistic. So they have their mental health struggles, they have their flaws. So there's, in the Commune's Curse series, for example, there's 4 main characters and they're all going through various different issues. So what I would just consider the main character, Evelyn, has past trauma. Rafe, who is a teenage boy, is going through grief and trying to balance, you know, keeping his 6-year-old sister alive whilst they're fleeing from soldiers of this authoritarian commune. Hector, his backstory gets explored more in book 2, and it's, you know, becomes again quite clear that there's a traumatic past involved for him. And Jonah, who's Commander Suleiman, in book 1, he has, again, the theme here is that there's a lot of trauma for all my characters. So they're going through processing the trauma, anxiety, depression, grief. So there's quite a lot of stuff that comes up. Now, this is based on my professional knowledge of these issues and how they can present in people. Personal experience, I've had anxiety, depression. I have been through the grieving process myself, have an understanding of trauma and how that presents. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. I feel like I waffled a bit there, which I have a tendency to do, but it's a subject I'm really interested in. And actually, if you are interested in kind of learning more about mental health theories that you can use in your writing, in writing your characters, do sign up to my newsletter, because I regularly share like a mental health theory and how you can apply that in your own writing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Your characters they're so realistic, and the things that you write about are very relatable to a lot of people, I think. But I do like the way that you do have a lightness in there with some of your wonderful animal characters. I think they are some of my favourite, the animal companions. You balance it well with the serious issues and then the lighter side of things. That they're brilliant novels. I'm really looking forward to number 3. But tell us about, I know you've got another book that's coming out with another publisher. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Or is that?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that's Echoes of the Aetherstone, which is a dark gothic fantasy that was inspired by the Jack the Ripper murders, and I read The Five by Hayley Rubenfold, which is about the victims of the Ripper and how they were treated. So it's kind of similar to what you were saying about that kind of injustice as to how the women that he killed were viewed because of their social status, the work that they did. Some of them had kind of addictions, so alcohol and addictions played a role in their lives, and so yeah, that kind of inspired me to want to write a story that explores. There's a serial killer in the book, but it's what if he was kind of brought to hear what he was caught, basically, because obviously the Ripper was never caught, and the patriarchal society in which he operated was deconstructed at the same time. So that's kind of was my aim in writing that book, and that will be out sometime in 2025. It's currently going through the editing process with the publisher, so yeah, I will share more on that when I can. Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to that. So do let us know when all your arcs come out, because I'm sure we'll have lots of people signing up for that.
Yeah, I'm excited to share that one. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, shall we do our quick fire round then, to like get to know you, kind of quick fire round?
No, that sounds great.
I'll go first then. So, what is your favourite book?
So I think it's 5 People in a Lifeboat by Mitch Albom. So I think I read that recently, and that is my favourite at the moment. What about you?
Definitely His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, which I count as one book. I know it's a trilogy, but I have an all-in-one book, and I'm like, it's one book, okay. I'm not I can't pick one. So definitely that's mine, and that the demons in that definitely inspired the animal companions in my series. Okay, favourite film?
Do you know, I don't know if I've got a favourite, but I do like anything that's a comedy. I enjoy a laugh. Like, I want to laugh at things. I don't particularly want to cry at a movie. I want to laugh. What about you?
Mine's Gladiator. Kind of followed closely by the Lord of the Rings trilogy, but yeah, Gladiator's definitely is up there and has not moved from that spot for quite a while. And I'm writing a Gladiator inspired story at some point as well. I've written some of it and it's on the back burner, but yeah. So I realised it's supposed to be quick fire and I'm talking too much.
Same as well. I mean, Lord of the Rings is up there with my favourites as well. I think when I was about 14, I probably watched it every day for about 3 months.
Same. Oh my god, it's amazing. Cool. So favourite console and video game?
So I play PlayStation, and at the moment Genshin Impact is my game of choice. And we know Baldur's Gate is your one, but do you have another favourite?
Yeah, Baldur's Gate is the current, it's really good. It's massive, so definitely takes a lot of time. My favourite game I'll probably say is Red Dead Redemption 2, because it's just, the characters are amazing, the story's amazing. It emotionally ruined me to the point that I want to replay it again, but also I'm scared because of the emotional turmoil. Yeah, it's an amazing game. Yeah. And what about for you? So when is the best time that you find for writing? So obviously you're balancing a huge amount of things.
Yeah, huge amount. Yeah,
huge amount of kids. Yeah.
Yeah, huge amount. Yeah. Wednesdays. I mean, I prefer morning. I'm more of a morning person. But Wednesdays is my day, so that's my sacred space, my sacred time. I'm more of a morning person than a night owl. I find get to the evening and I'm done really. Yeah. But how about you? Are you morning, evening?
Yeah, I probably would tend to be morning more. So like Monday is like my counselling free, child free day, so generally tends to be Mondays. But yeah, I'm saying by the time I get to the evening, like the brain is just frazzled, so I try and get it done as much as possible before then. But yeah, you know, I think we both appreciate that it's when you're a parent, you have to kind of fit around your kids, because some days it'll be your free day, but a kid's not well or whatever.
Yeah. Days in the middle of the week, that's always a fun one.
Yeah.
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 And did you always want to be a writer?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I do remember I wrote when I was really young, and I think there was a convergence of like several different things at once around the same age of like 10, 11, 12, where I started playing The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The Lord of the Rings film started coming out, and I read the Song of the Lioness Quartet by Tamora Pierce. And that kind of opened the doorway to me. I very quickly then started reading fantasy books and like adult fantasy books and series. Yeah, so from then I remember writing books, not books, stories. I never actually finished a book until I was 27, which is the first book, Awakening, which is became the first book in the series. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved writing. I remember at primary school being told, like, you need to write less because you're waffling on about like stories and it's meant to be a page. But yeah, when I was about 16, I wrote sort of like a full length novel. I mean, it was rubbish. It was absolutely rubbish. But you know, from then on, I would be in my room listening to music, writing. And yeah, I've written a few other things that obviously were just having a go and getting out there. But I think, yeah, you need to read broadly, don't you? And then you can start to develop your own style and know what's good, what's not good. That's the thing. But yeah, no, I've always loved writing. So
Absolutely.
Since
it's amazing. So that kind of, I think, brings us back to, you know, the reason for us wanting to start this YouTube channel. And help, like, I love speaking to other authors. We obviously met on a writers Discord group, called the Fantasy and Sci-Fi Writers Alliance. And yeah, I find speaking to other authors about their stories, about their writing process, inspirations, other interests, it's a lot of fun. And it also, like we said at the beginning, it gives you something to put out there, because we know how difficult it is marketing yourself as an author, especially as the majority of us are introverts, hence the name Introverted Indies.
I'd rather be behind the screen than in front of the screen. Like, it's, yeah, I think a lot of authors are a bit like that, and it's quite a solitary career as well, isn't it? A solitary hobby. You are just on your own with your thoughts. So yeah,
absolutely.
Great to talk to other people, to find out what works for them when they're writing, and you know what inspires them. Yeah, all the things you said basically. But I'm looking forward to writing tips and marketing tips, and yeah, just getting people out there, getting people.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll also, I mean, we'll share this on the post after this, but we'll also add something in there about if you want to record yourself like reading a 5-minute excerpt of a book. And then send that to us. We can also put that on the YouTube channel as well. So that's something that we can share for you as well. Yeah, so basically, if you want to get involved, have a look in the description below this video if you're watching it after the live. And there'll be a Google form. I'll put it in the link in my bio as well. I'm sure you'll do the same, Lydia.
Yeah,
just obviously let us know if you've got any questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can about when we can book you in for interview.
Yeah, no, we're really excited. And last but not least, do you have a copy of your book that you can just
I don't
see? Oh no,
they're down on the kitchen table. I really should have been more prepared there. That's yeah, blame my son getting me up at like 5 a.m. My brain's not fully but yeah, I'm very excited because I just got the paperback copy of the Madman's Hope, like the first paperback version of it, and I was so excited. So
hold it. Yeah, there's something special, isn't there, about holding your book when it physically arrives. Yeah,
really,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone. And yeah, we hope to hear from you. We're looking forward to chatting to people.
Yeah, that's going to be great. So yeah, we'll leave all the links, and yeah, we look forward to hearing from everybody.
Thanks, Lydia.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.